I turned into the jealous, vicious male supporting character and played the sycophant at the heroine's side for many years. When everyone believed I was a good dog, I took the chance when she fell gravely ill to cancel her cards, close her accounts, and abscond with all her assets. The heroine met the warm-hearted male lead at her lowest point and made a comeback. System, you can't let them be together so easily. Go reconcile with the female lead. I had a sticky brownie in my mouth, mumbling indistinctly. If you want me dead, just say so. The system looked as if it was scolding someone for not living up to expectations. It showed me footage of the female lead after I left, how she often went to the places we used to date, stayed in the house we had, stared blankly and cried. My confidence soared. Watch closely. The dead white moonlight is about to descend from the sky. However, on the night before the heroine and I were to be married, she stabbed me and I fell to the ground. She looked at me full of resentment. Do you think I'm easy to fool? In the original world, I was an orphan that nobody wanted. I worked and struggled alone for more than a decade, finally made a name for myself, only to end up with cancer. On the day I died, the system told me that if I followed its script, I could live on in another world. I diligently followed the system's instructions and played the role of the vicious, supporting male. I approached the heroine, Sophia Taylor, in the guise of an innocent little male flower, giving her meticulous care and attention. In the second year of my conquest of her, she fell for me. Over the following years, I lived in luxury. I lived in a lavish villa, drove a Maserati, and went out surrounded by a squad of bodyguards. Everyone smiled at me on the surface, but secretly called me an upstart Phoenix man, saying I would be exposed for who I really was someday. Until the Taylor family's internal feud and division of the estate allowed rivals to take advantage of the weakness, and overnight we were bankrupt. By the time Sophia Taylor had taken care of everything and asked me whether I minded eloping with her to live an ordinary life, I had already sold off all my subordinates' assets and slipped away without leaving her a single cent. I even had the system arrange a new ID for me so I could live it up in another country. Bankruptcy and the blow to her emotions sent her straight to the hospital. The only daughter of the group president, someone who'd been the center of attention everywhere since childhood, was completely shattered. Alex, you know he's from the bar scene. Don't pretend you don't. You can't expect someone like that to have any genuine feelings. That's not true. He said he was an orphan, never went to school, and only had to work in places like that to make a living. You believe anything a male model says? No wonder the Taylor Group went bankrupt. That day, Sophia Taylor returned to the villa we had lived in together for 3 years. She lay under the quilt crying all night, unable to understand why I had suddenly left without a word. In the end, she seemed to finally accept that I had deceived her out of money and feelings. She never asked anyone again. Where did Alex go? System, host, your new task has arrived. Go stop the male and female leads from reconciling. I shook my head like a rattle. No way. Please. Back then my actions were almost enough to pull her plug and send her on her way. As a woman of the new era, especially a female CEO who, after setbacks, made a triumphant comeback. She has 100 ways to kill me, and the only outcome if I go back is a dead end. I don't have the protagonist's halo. I chewed on a sticky brownie, mumbling, if you want me dead, just say it. The system began to transform into a super male. Host, you remember the covenant we made back then, don't you? The consequence of being disobedient is not only suffering physical injury, but also ceasing to exist forever. After she finished speaking, a piercing pain stabbed through my head, making my brain hum with a sharp buzz. It reminded me of the bone-deep agony of chemotherapy, even more excruciating than that. The system understands the tactic of slapping and then offering sweet. The next second, it showed me images of the heroine after I left. Often go to the place where we used to meet, sitting in the house we lived in, staring blankly and crying. And the scene of the two of them arguing after the male lead accidentally discover my photo. System, see? She loves him so much. I immediately felt much more confident. Watch closely. The departed white moonlight is about to descend from the heavens. Though I couldn't see it, I kept sensing the system nodded in approval. I also silently apologized to Sophia Taylor in my heart. You only lost a relationship, but I lost my life. I'm sorry, miss. I went straight to the birthday party following the address Samuel Wilson gave me. Rumor has it that Ethan Johnson is personally handling it and plans to confess to Sophia Taylor today. My mission is to stop them from being together. The moment I stepped in, countless eyes fixed on me. Some even let out exclamations. Alex, you're still alive. No matter the looks around me, I walked straight over and pulled out a chair. I lit a cigarette. Seemed out of place in the magnificent banquet hall. Sorry about that. I'm not dead yet. Guess that disappoints you. The departure back then caused a huge uproar, even though I didn't tell anyone and went completely off the grid. But I couldn't resist Sophia Taylor searching all over City A for me. People in the circle had already heard rumors about me, a Phoenix man who started out as a male model. Leaving actually made me even more famous. You still have the nerve to come back. Sophia Taylor's best friend, Emily Davis, was very excited. From the beginning, she disliked me, convinced I was a man who got close to Sophia only for personal gain. In a sense, that's true. So, you left when the Taylor group was at its lowest, and now that Sophia has made a comeback, you're back again. Aren't you a man? How can you be so shameless? Saying that, she directly threw the red wine in her hand onto me. The wine dripped from my hair onto my shirt with a pitter-patter. I immediately looked utterly miserable. Samuel Wilson, seeing this, immediately started arguing. He's not that kind of person. Fine, then let him say what grievances he has. I leisurely wiped the stains with a tissue. Even if I explained, no one would believe me. Say I have a system? These people probably think I'm crazy, or that I'm making up an excuse to get by. I patted Samuel Wilson. Sam, don't argue with her. Women being unreasonable is in their nature. She's right. I'm a Phoenix man. From the very beginning, I was in it for the money, I said. Sophia Taylor's close friend, Emily Davis, looked down at me condescendingly. What? No more excuses. The evidence is all out in the open. Even if you wanted to argue, there's nothing you can say. When the Taylor group fell, you sold off all the cars and houses under your name, and you didn't even leave contact information. Alex, how dare you come back? You don't still think Sophia pines for you, do you? I'm telling you, Sophia's current boyfriend is from the prestigious Johnson family, not someone like you. Before Sophia gets here, you'd better get out. As the saying goes, a best friend is like a second mother-in-law. I completely understand her dislike for me. Besides, what I did back then was indeed a bit excessive. There are still quite a few supporters of the male lead, Ethan, present. They began to ridicule me as well. Someone like that thinks he can compete with our Mr. Ethan? What a joke. Just a despicable male model, nothing but dirty tricks to deceive women. Someone waved, and security instantly flooded in. How do you do your job? Letting this disgusting toad in. Teach him a lesson. A swarm of people immediately surrounded me. Two of them hauled me up while the others took turns attacking. Punch after punch, landing where they couldn't be seen. People from high society really know how to play games. What if Sophia Taylor still had feelings for me? There were no signs to be seen on the surface. Samuel Wilson shouted in anger. Don't go too far. Don't forget that if the ancestral mansion of the Taylor group weren't under Alex's name, it would have long ago been mortgaged. Even if he ran off, he didn't really cut ties. The ancestral mansion was never taken away from the start. Samuel Wilson's defense did not calm anyone down. On the contrary, it made them angrier. You really are brothers of the same pair of pants. Everything he eats, wears, and uses, none of it isn't from the Taylor family. What? And we should thank him for magnanimously returning the ancestral house to Sophia. Where was he when Sophia was having bypass surgery? If he hadn't taken the money and run, would Sophia have had such a hard time? Now that Sophia has money and has let it go, he's come back. What is his real intention? I stayed silent, not knowing how to respond. Let them toy with me. Punch after punch, some even starting to bring out tasers, just as they were treating me like a joke. System, host, stay steady. The heroine will arrive on the battlefield in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. When he saw her, the surrounding noise vanished in an instant. Sophia Taylor walked in slowly in high heels and a custom-fitted outfit. The banquet hall was left silent except for the sound of high heels. After a few years, besides her innate heiress air, she had grown a little more indifferent and decisive. Sophia Taylor's eyes looked at me without any hesitation. Just one glance. Then she turned away as if she didn't know me. For some reason, I felt a sudden sting in my heart. Before I could sink into sadness, the system's voice sounded in my ear again. The host is now. In 5 minutes, the male lead will arrive. You must take the female lead out within 5 minutes and stop their confession. I was completely stunned. Asking her to leave right after they just met? There has to be some kind of process, right? Other systems come with assistive tools. Give me one too. The system pretended to be dead in my head. Watching Sophia Taylor step closer and closer, my heart grew more and more tense. I was thinking about how to start the conversation so it would seem natural without coming off as too familiar. I didn't know who had pushed me from behind. I immediately plopped down, kneeling steadily before her. Laughter erupted around us. I blurted out, "Your servant salutes you." Sophia Taylor stood before me, looking down at me from above. I was stunned. Damn muscle memory. When I used to be with her, we often played this kind of cosplay. Whenever Sophia Taylor finished work and came home, I would act like a big golden retriever. I'd slide kneel before her and shout, "Welcome home, master. Your humble servant salutes you." Every time Sophia Taylor would burst in a loud laughter because of me. But this time, she looked at me, saying nothing. There was an emotion in her eyes that I couldn't understand. Surprise, restraint, and a fleeting sense of grievance. I simply knelt on the ground and issued an invitation. "Long time no see. Would the beauty graciously accept a meal?" At those words, Sophia Taylor's close friend, Emily Davis, immediately objected. "Alex, do you think kneeling here like a dog will make us, Sophia, agree?" "Let me tell you." But before she could finish, Sophia Taylor slapped me across the face. My best friend was stunned. She knew Sophia Taylor still had feelings for me, but she didn't expect her to actually resort to violence. Not to mention my best friend. Even I was stunned. So the people around her erupted into jeers. "She really thinks she's somebody. As if we'd be so easy to fool. Sophia? Ethan will be here soon. The show is about to start." Just as everyone expected Sophia Taylor to keep attacking me, Sophia Taylor's voice sounded. "Where are you going?" She asked me. "Huh? What kind of move is this? A single slap erases all grievances? Better to slap first and ask questions later." My brain was a bit overloaded. This was completely on a whim. I hadn't actually thought about where to go. A secret base, then. Almost without thinking, the words slipped out of my mouth. That was the place where Sophia Taylor and I confessed our mutual feelings. It was also where my story in this world began. After saying that I felt a bit regretful, when meeting a girl for the first time, I should have invited her to a meal. I looked at her cautiously. "All right." Another answer came without hesitation. "Sophia, Ethan will be here soon. He has a surprise for you this time." Her best friend, Emily Davis, stepped right in front of Sophia Taylor. Seeing that Sophia Taylor showed no reaction, she anxiously stamped her foot. "Sophia, have you forgotten how he treated you? A person like that. When Ethan comes later, tell him I had something to do and left early." As she spoke, Sophia Taylor gave her a look. Even without mentioning that Sophia Taylor was an administrator before, the experience of the past 2 years had given her a calm, imperceptible aura of deterrence. One sentence shut my best friend up completely. I was afraid that if we argued any longer, Sophia Taylor would change her mind. Ignoring the pain in my body, I grabbed her hand and walked out. Not noticing behind me, Sophia Taylor stared at my hand, a flash of hatred passing through her eyes. When I pulled her out the door, I half joked. "You're not pretending to comply, just abide your time and get revenge on me, are you?" She smiled, though it was a somewhat formal smile. "You tell me." I wasn't entirely sure what she was thinking, and I swallowed nervously. I climbed into the driver's seat with practiced ease and fastened the seatbelt for the passenger, Sophia Taylor. I repeated the motion countless times. Even after several years, it remained vivid. The difference was that before it was done amid chatter and laughter. After buckling the seatbelt, Sophia Taylor would always peck my cheek. But now there was only silence. There was still some time left before we reached the secret base. I tried to speak to ease the awkwardness. "How have you been these years?" As soon as the words left my mouth, Sophia Taylor's hand reaching toward the screen to select a song froze. I immediately realized I'd said the wrong thing. Taylor Group went bankrupt. Back then they sold almost everything that could be sold. What else could life be but miserable? No. I mean, Has her health improved a lot? Sophia Taylor's voice came from the passenger seat, calm, as if telling someone else's story. Before Grandpa passed, he handed all his shares to me at once and placed me in line to succeed at Taylor Group. I was too young then. Although I had business skills, I didn't understand how treacherous people could be, and I never imagined that the ones scheming against me the most would be my own relatives. Later, I sold everything of value I had just to pay off debts, but I still couldn't afford my surgery. It was Ethan Johnson who helped me, covering $2 million in costs, including the surgery. A heaviness settled in my chest like a stone, making me feel stifled and miserable. She forced back tears, and, after a long moment, said a sentence. So, it was you who saved my life. Sophia Taylor looked at me, unsure what she was thinking, and finally gave a cold There was another stretch of silence in the car. The system in my brain started speaking again. This isn't right. This part isn't in the original plot. The money for the treatment should have come from the heroine selling her ancestral home. The hero only appeared after her operation to give her the courage to fight back and the investment funds. How did he become her lifesaver? Could it be that they can create the plot themselves? I frowned. What do you mean? In simple terms, the characters in the book have developed their own minds. They can generate plot lines beyond the original script, quickly accelerating relationship development. If that's true, I'm going to be on a management team, host. You don't know how rare this situation is. By then I'll be a benchmark in our system world. One of them. The system chattered in my head. The gist was that the situation was special. Once this job was done, he would be promoted and ennobled. Just as I was pondering whether to say anything more, Sophia Taylor's phone rang. It was Ethan Johnson calling. The system emitted a sharp blast. Host, stop him. If the female lead answers now and softens and goes back, all our efforts will be for nothing. I hesitated a little. The system chattered on. Hurry. Your current task is to deepen their conflicts and misunderstandings. The sooner you finish the task, the sooner you can enjoy life. I tightened my grip on the steering wheel and summoned my courage again. Boyfriend? No. Then, could you not answer it? Sophia Taylor neither said yes nor no. My heart was beating like a drum. I couldn't tell what she meant. Bro said, I'm sorry. I have no right to ask you to do that. Maybe my expression was too forlorn. Sophia Taylor actually switched her phone to silent and then flipped it face down. System, as expected of you, that retreat as advance move was well played. Me? Question mark. I drove the car to the place familiar in my memory. I slowly pushed the door open. The scene before me left me frozen in place. The abandoned welfare home was completely different from the desolate, dilapidated place I remembered. In its place stood new dormitory buildings and new playground equipment, and the slide I loved most in my memory. Beside the slide was a huge oak tree, and it was the season of its full bloom. The scent of flowers filled the entire courtyard. I looked at Sophia Taylor in astonishment. The grounds here were originally going to be redeveloped, so I bought them. She stared at me steadily, as if trying to see right through me. Do you like it? I opened my mouth and found my voice had grown hoarse. Yes. In my previous life, I grew up in an orphanage. In this life, I did too. Later, I met Sophia Taylor, and the orphanage lost its meaning, so the system directly classified it as an abandoned scene. But I always come back to look quietly staying in the yard. It seems that only like this am I truly myself. Later, I brought Sophia Taylor here, half-truths and half-lies as I talked about my life. This place became our shared secret base. Birthdays and anniversaries were all spent here. I told her about the layout and facilities of the orphanage from before. Each time, she listened very attentively. But I didn't expect that she would actually replicate it exactly, one-to-one. I don't know whether I described it in too much detail, or whether she thought about it every day and it became too deeply ingrained. I always thought that if you could come back, you'd definitely come here first. So I saved it for you. I tilted my head back and held back the tears that were about to spill, whether in the last life or this one. I have no family, and I have never felt real love. Even coming here to fall in love was just another assignment. In that moment, I felt a tangible warmth my heart stirred. Sophia, I've been looking for you everywhere. You really are here. Sophia Taylor and I both turn around. Ethan Johnson froze on the spot. I looked at this destined male lead. A neatly tailored, well-fitted suit, slightly parted cropped hair, and long legs at 185 centimeters tall. All right, in terms of hardware, he really couldn't compare. Ethan Johnson grabbed Sophia Taylor's hand and started to leave. Sophia, let's go back. A lot of people are waiting for us. I watched him casually hold Sophia Taylor's hand. I thought to myself, they must really get along well in private. System. Host, you can't let him take the female lead away. Otherwise, the show can't go on. I was a bit stunned. Me? How am I supposed to stop him? But my body obediently stepped forward and reached out to grab Sophia's other arm. Sophia didn't agree to go back with you. My feigned calm looked like a provocation to Ethan. The next moment, he swung a punch at me, cursing as he did. What do you think you are? Who gave you the right to come back and take Sophia away? As a man, even I looked down on you. I was punched until I crashed. His anger came so suddenly. He hit me before I could react, leaving me defenseless. No, what about the gentle male lead, the healing heartthrob? This is Street Fighter, right? Enough. Ethan, I've already had someone notify you. When Sophia Taylor opened her mouth, Ethan immediately stopped. I lay on the ground, my nose bleeding, half my face smeared with blood. Ethan grabbed my collar with one hand and pointed at my nose with the other. So it was all for him. All these years we've supported each other, yet you never let go of him in your heart, did you? Even the plot of land I originally wanted to use to expand the commercial project was specifically saved by you to give to him. I keep asking you what you want to use it for, and you never tell me, nor do you let me come. Ethan grew more and more out of control as he spoke. He even spat droplets of saliva onto my face. Sophia Taylor ignored him and helped me up. Ethan, you shouldn't have come. There was a trace of anger in Sophia Taylor's words. But Ethan kept speaking. Sophia, didn't we agree to be each other's strongest support? Why do you change as soon as you see Alex? Have you forgotten how he treated you when you were seriously ill? He took the money that saved your life. It seemed to have touched Sophia Taylor's pain. She stood directly in front of me, adopting a protective stance. Ethan, you've crossed the line. What I want to do is my business. You have no right to judge this person. If you don't leave now, I won't hesitate to end the cooperation between our two families. Ethan stormed off, furious. I watched him exercising, the little perky buttocks pressed into his suit trousers. After a long moment, I asked the system in my head, is your character design always this distinctive? A gentle male lead. The system in my head stammered. It seems there's been a bit of a problem. You go ahead and improvise for now. After that, no matter how much I called, there was no sound. On the way back, Sophia Taylor was driving. She insisted on giving me a ride, so there was a gift for me. Without the system, I didn't dare speak recklessly, so I remained silent the whole way. You come back and make it like this. Am I really that useless? Sophia Taylor spoke first, breaking the silence. I watched her expression, lonely and wronged. For a moment, it felt like a few years had been wiped away. Back then, she ran the company, but at heart, she was still a young girl. So she would often complain to me in self-pity. This was the first time I'd seen her look so fragile since we returned. I had thought she had truly grown into someone who could do anything. It has nothing to do with you. What he said is all true. I spoke, forcibly suppressing the ache in my heart. There was silence in the car again. We didn't stop until the traffic light. Sophia Taylor pulled out a tissue. Only then did I realize she had been crying quietly. I said nothing and kept pretending I hadn't seen. A long time ago, I protested to the system, asking why I wasn't a male lead. Why couldn't I openly be with Sophia Taylor? Its answer was simply, no. Host, your role is the vicious supporting male. If you forcibly change the trajectory and end up with the heroine, this world will be erased. You and Sophia Taylor, neither of you can survive. I have money. Inside the car, Sophia Taylor spoke again. I was taken aback for a moment. What? If you left me back then because of money, now I have it. Sophia Taylor kept driving without looking at me, but I seemed to see the expectation radiating from her all around. How much would it take for you to stay by my side for the rest of your life? The car slowly pulled over to the side of the road. Sophia Taylor looked at me intently, waiting for my answer. Sorry, I couldn't bear to look her in the face. When she finished speaking, the light in Sophia Taylor's eyes went out. System, host, quickly agreed to her. You two should get back together soon. Me? Didn't you say to stop them from being together? You never said to reconcile. System, didn't I just return after fixing the plot? Your task now is to reconcile with her. The system gave me a massive headache. Sophia Taylor was about to continue driving, her hand just touching the gear lever. My hand covered hers directly, slowly tightening. Her heartbeat actually began to accelerate inexplicably. I don't want money. I just want to be with you in the name of your boyfriend. I saw her freeze for a moment. Then her eyes filled with an incredulous joy. System, my taste is really excellent. You're literally the divinely chosen, vicious male supporting character. Me, sometimes it's better when you don't speak. The surprise Sophia Taylor gave me was a small Western-style house we had once lived in. I remember I had sold that house at the time. And now he reappeared in front of me, completely intact. Even the security guard was the same as before. Mr. Alex, you and Miss Sophia are back from your honeymoon. Honeymoon? That's right, Miss Sophia said. You're going abroad to travel the world for a while. I don't know when you'll be back. I didn't know how to react. I only heard the security guard chattering in my ear. Miss Sophia even moved the wedding photos in. She hasn't actually come, but she has someone clean them every week. Right? Before the bankruptcy, I did a set of wedding photos with Sophia Taylor. Plus, we've been living together these past few years, so the security guard thinks we're a married couple. I looked towards Sophia Taylor, who had just parked the car and gotten out. So she's been maintaining the illusion that we're already married, waiting for me to come back. Then what about the footage the system showed me earlier? Could it be that she faked it to trick me back into doing missions? System, that's because the female lead created the illusion that you two were married and didn't want anyone to find out. So she sneaked back every time. My heart felt a little more bitter. It was clearly my own house. But she wronged herself to sustain the woven lies. The dignified chairman of Taylor Group had to sneak around even to return to his own house. I can't imagine how she managed these years on her own. When the door opened and someone came in, I found the furnishings in the room exactly as they had been before I left. The tablecloth and sofa were still the ones I had personally chosen. They had even faded a bit with the passage of time. The only change was that the living room and bedroom now had several of our wedding photos. Sophia Taylor noticed that I had seen those photos. Somewhat flustered, Alex, don't mind. I smiled and said, nicely arranged. Sophia Taylor hesitated for a moment, then suddenly became girlish. I have another surprise to give you. With that, she pulled me into the storage room. Inside were all the superhero figures I liked. Delicate cabinets lined the four walls. Inside them were not only figurines, but corresponding model dioramas. Like an exhibition hall. In my previous life, I collected things, but never this comprehensively, and certainly not floor display setups. Having come to this world, I knew that even if I bought them, I wouldn't be able to take them with me. So I only mentioned it to Sophia Taylor. Unexpectedly, she remembered every single thing I said. When I was a child in the orphanage, the only joy was watching superheroes. I firmly believed there was light in this world. Now, I have found my light. Sophia Taylor noticed something was off with me and stepped forward to ask what was wrong. I simply pulled her into my arms and planted a smack on her. The atmosphere began to spiral out of control. I just swept her up in a princely carry, intending to go back inside to deepen our bond. The system's voice shouted in my ear, Jadomada, no. If I weren't already used to having something that suddenly speaks in my head, this scream could really make me impotent for the rest of my life. System, host, you're going to leave this world in the future. You can't do this. I frowned. What do you mean? Didn't you say that after the mission is completed, it's like I get to live on under a different identity? System, that's true. But once a mission here is completed, you have to go complete the next one. You need to keep completing missions in order to stay alive. In other words, your soul remains alive, but you don't have a fixed identity. So you can't form attachments, nor can you leave any traces. I felt like my whole system had crashed. This wasn't what had been promised at the start. They had clearly told me that as long as I completed the mission, they would forge an identity for me, so I could spend the rest of my life in this world. What does it mean to keep completing tasks in exchange for life? So that means I will never be myself. I'll always just be the catalyst in the book. When a story concludes perfectly, I won't leave a trace in any time or space. Just a complete, utter tool. System. Host. Your next mission is to pretend to marry the female lead. Then on the day before the wedding, abscond with the funds and sell all her shares to her archenemy. That way the male lead will have a chance to save the female lead again. Then they truly end up together. I was so stunned by this sudden news that I couldn't speak. A moment ago, I was riding a wave of flirtation. Now I feel like I've fallen to rock bottom. My hand clenched involuntarily. The Sophia Taylor in my arms hissed in pain. I, as if waking from a dream, gently laid her down on the bed. Sophia Taylor noticed my discomfort, looking at me with a concerned expression. "What's wrong?" I shook my head, forcing down the ache in my chest. Why can I only be a supporting male character? Why can't I be the male lead? System, can I refuse? At least not by running off with the money. Can't it be some other plot? Sorry, that's not something I can decide. I'm telling you this early for your own good, so you don't get too caught up in the role. The system said it all, with a certified look, as if it were doing me a favor, but I found it ridiculous. What life? Arrangements, it's all a lie. I have never had the right to choose. I will leave no trace of having existed in this world, whether before or now. Today my name is Alex, and I'm here. Tomorrow I'll change identities and be in another world. Even the feelings are fake. Everything was predetermined long ago. Late at night, Sophia Taylor has already gone to bed. I quietly got up and went out to the balcony to light a cigarette. Moonlight spilled through the window into the villa, adding to the melancholic atmosphere. One after another, the tendrils of smoke curled around me. I hadn't noticed the bedroom behind me had opened a crack. Early the next morning, I felt an itch at the nape of my neck. When I looked down, Sophia Taylor was in my arms, having woken up at some point without my noticing. I affectionately pecked at her forehead. Not going to sleep a bit longer? No. I rhythmically patted Sophia Taylor's back. She once said her mother used to lull her to sleep like this. I've grown used to comforting her like this over the years. But these few taps, it's hard to say whether it's guilt or something else. I asked tentatively, "These past few years, how have you been getting by?" It's easy for a business to collapse, hard to save, let alone a girl. I don't dare think, and I've never really thought about how Sophia Taylor made it through. Leaving the ancestral home behind was the only thing I could do right under the system's nose. But Sophia Taylor hadn't embezzled anything. She seemed to notice my mood. She spoke as if telling someone else's story, describing it casually. At first it was a bit hard, but nothing really. My parents were gone when I was very young, and I lived with my grandfather. Later I ran the company by myself, so being alone in the hospital didn't feel like a big deal. I originally thought I would never see you again. After all, I no longer even have my only value, money. Everyone told me you're just a Phoenix man who will drain all value and then leave. I kept telling myself over and over that you're a scumbag, not worth my longing. To outsiders, I hated you as well, but only I know that I still can't let you go. Our feelings for each other weren't fake either. Saying that, she patted my hand as if implying something. I know what you've done for me. That's why I worked hard to earn money, stayed in the home we once had, and kept watch over your secret base. I wanted to wait until you came back to see these. You'd definitely be happy. And then you really did come back. As she spoke, I saw Sophia Taylor's eyes redden. Tears began to gather on her long eyelashes. I wiped my hand and didn't dare to look in her eyes. In the days that followed, I returned to the bliss I had known when I was being kept. I even outshone my previous prominence. Sophia Taylor brought me to every event she attended. Even I could see the disdain those business people had for me. Sophia Taylor could see it even more clearly, but she chose to ignore it. Alex, I know you're not what you seem on the surface. I'm introducing you to these people so that when you want to start your own venture in the future, you'll have useful connections. System, good opportunity, host. You already have her contact details. It will also make it easier to sell off the heroine's assets later. Then Sophia Taylor handed me a black card. Use it for purchases. If it's not enough, tell me and I'll go earn more. I hesitated for a long moment and didn't take it. Feigning disgust, she said, "This is only a few coins. If it's not your entire fortune, I don't want it." Sophia Taylor kept holding out the card, her posture unchanged. I hesitated. "This isn't all your belongings, is it?" Sophia Taylor looked at me and nodded happily. "All for you." I felt a sting in my nose. Tears nearly fell. This silly girl, why would she need to be deceived? She gave me her whole sincere heart, but I could only choose to treat her in the worst possible way. The system's voice sounded in my mind again. Host, you can't. You must make the female lead hate you by deceiving her. Don't forget your persona, the vicious male supporting role. I pushed the card back. I won't. I haven't finished spinning what you gave me before. Sophia Taylor sensed my dejection. Are you leaving me again? I shook my head and smiled. How could that be? This time I won't be leaving. Then will you marry me? Sophia Taylor spoke with excitement and a probing tone. I looked up and met her eyes full of expectation. At this moment, I didn't know whether she said those words because the plot required it or because she was truly moved. I've always felt that Sophia Taylor is different from the original female lead in the story. She seems more like someone with her own soul, not a marionette pulled by the plot. Okay, I agreed. No matter what, it doesn't matter anymore. What matters is that in this moment, we both want to stay together for life. Sophia Taylor and I retook our wedding photos. She was like a little girl, smiling radiantly. She kept asking me, is this one pretty? Is that one pretty? I smiled and answered, they all look beautiful. But the moment she stepped into the fitting room, my smile faded. The bridal shop attendant walked over holding an instant camera, wearing a matchmaking aunt smile. You two look so perfect together. Can I take a photo of you for our store's try-on promotion? I was going to refuse, but Sophia Taylor answered first. Of course. Saying that, she adjusted her veil and, without asking, draped her arm around mine, smiled brightly at the camera. I looked at her with a face full of adoration. The camera captured that moment. Sophia Taylor looked at the photo very pleased and asked the clerk if they could take another one. She wanted to keep it as a memento. Of course you can, the clerk said, reaching for the camera, but then suddenly realized there was no photo paper left. They searched around the shop, but couldn't find any. Sophia Taylor's face was unhappy for only a moment. It's okay. We'll still be taking wedding photos anyway. After getting home, I saw Sophia Taylor rummaging through boxes and pulling out all her belongings. Household registration book, property deed, and that black card. He even drew up a contract. As long as the two parties are in a marital relationship, Alex can take all the assets without restriction. Voluntary gift. At this moment, I could no longer hold back. Tears splashed down onto the contract. I knew clearly what this meant. There would never be any possibility between Sophia Taylor and me again. Even if there had been a chance, we never had one to begin with. But voluntarily giving up and being forced to give up are not the same. Sophia Taylor knew nothing and asked me if I was overjoyed. I could only go along and say yes. During the month of preparing the wedding, we revisited all the places that once had defining moments. Took her to see the sea, went to the places she had always wanted to go, but never had time for. We behaved like an ordinary young couple. Watched movies, ate meals. Under the grand fireworks in the night sky, Sophia Taylor devoutly made a wish toward the fireworks. I hope we can always be together like this. I teased her. What if something happens to me and I die early? Sophia Taylor looked at me seriously. Then I'll bury you in the way you like and keep watch over your ashes forever. I smiled. Ashes would be fine, just don't die in the ocean. If that happened, I wouldn't even leave a trace of having existed in this world. No sooner had I finished speaking than Sophia Taylor dove into my arms. It felt like she was comforting herself as much as she was comforting me. We won't. We'll all live well. I gently pat her back and hold her tightly. Meanwhile, my phone beside me keeps buzzing with texts. Is everything ready? Is the contract drafted? Signing the contract tomorrow. After receiving the message, I turned off the screen, and everything happened very quickly. It flashed like fireworks, bright for a moment, then gone. Before all the evil consequences were exposed, the vicious supporting male character was like the fated child in the book. Repeated victories. A week before the wedding, Sophia Taylor and I split up. Each of us made our own arrangements and preparations. Until the day before the wedding, I disappeared. It wasn't quite like the plot. I didn't abscond with the money. I was kidnapped by the male lead, Ethan, on a private yacht belonging to ESO. When I woke up, the male lead Ethan was standing in front of me. My hands were tied. My whole body felt limp and powerless, completely unable to resist. Today I want Sophia to see what kind of person you really are. Ethan's voice sounded in my ear. I have no mood to deal with him, so I quickly summoned the system. System, come out. This isn't how the plot goes. Wasn't I supposed to book my own plane ticket and leave? How did the male lead end up kidnapping me? Also, this isn't the male lead. He's the head of a crime syndicate. System. I don't know what's going on either. How did it go wrong at the end? Wait for me. I'll go fix the plot right away. Wait for my return. No matter how I called, the system was silent. All I can do now is hold up the male lead. Ethan waved his hand, and several men in black uniforms stepped forward. Teach him a lesson. At a command, several people encircled me and punched me again and again, showing no mercy. I have to admit, Ethan really wanted me dead. They showed no leniency in how they struck. I was kicked over and my whole body ached so badly I couldn't straighten up. Curled up on the ground, I silently endured it all. Enough. Stop it, all of you. Sophia Taylor arrived. She was still wearing her wedding dress, her hair all disheveled. It was obvious she had rushed here in a hurry. Sophia, it's come to this. Stop defending him. Ask yourself what he did. From Ethan's words, I inferred they had found out about me selling off my assets. Sophia Taylor crouched on the ground to unfasten my restraints. She wiped my dirty face with her hand. Alex, you must have your reasons, right? I opened my mouth, but said nothing. Sophia Taylor forced my face away and made me look at her. Why are you doing this? I gave you everything. Wasn't that enough? Or did I do something wrong before that made you hate me so much, so determined to ruin me? I directly snorted. I'm jealous. So what? Do I need a reason? Why do you have such good luck? Why are you all born with favor, while I have nothing? Aren't you just using your family's wealth to humiliate me with money? I want to see you fall. I disguised myself as an utterly petty, jealous person. A look of heartache flashed across Sophia Taylor's face. Is that how you see me? The next second, she grabbed a dagger and lunged at me. I gave a muffled groan and grit my teeth, forcing myself to bear it. Blood slowly spread across my groom's suit. The knife was so sharp it didn't hurt at first. Once it registered, the pain radiated through my limbs. I hate you. Sophia Taylor's face was very close to mine. I clearly saw the reluctance, anger, and unwillingness in her eyes. The knife was pulled out, and I collapsed to the ground as if all my strength had been drained. Take him to the hospital. Don't ever let me see him again. Sophia Taylor finished speaking and prepared to leave. The system returned at this moment as well. Host, how did it end up like this? The plot is messed up, completely messed up. The last report came out. The male and female leads have developed their own minds, so the plot is deviating from the proper direction. Don't worry, I'll do my best to keep you. After the male and female leads get married, I'll teleport you to the next timeline. Right now, I don't feel like listening to whatever the system has to say. I stared blankly at Sophia Taylor's retreating figure. After a long moment, I said, "Do you want to know the truth?" Sure enough, Sophia Taylor's departing figure froze. Ethan looked anxious. Sophia, he's definitely going to try to wriggle out of it. Don't be fooled by him again. I sneered at him and smiled. The remark was indeed directed at Sophia Taylor. If you come over, I'll tell you. After a moment's hesitation, Sophia Taylor still walked over. I was at the edge of the boat. She had only taken a few steps closer when Ethan stopped her. Sophia, don't go over there. It's dangerous. What business is it of yours if I talk to her? I mercilessly snapped at him. Anyway, I'm about to vanish from this world. I don't care whether he's the male lead. Sophia Taylor crouched in front of me. Come here, closer. Come a little closer. Until my mouth was near her ear. Sofa, I'm sorry. I lied to you. Sophia Taylor's pupils contracted, and unease immediately surged in her heart. Alex, before she could react, there was a splash. I fell into the sea. Tears instantly welled up in Sophia Taylor's eyes. Alex, she screamed until her voice tore, wanting to jump down to save me. But Ethan forcibly pulled her away. This is the middle of the sea. Even if you jump, it would be useless. Seawater rushed in my nasal passages in an instant. It engulfed my entire senses. In the end, I still died in the sea. That person who feared leaving traces in any world. In the end, nothing was really left behind. Maybe my death brought the world back to normal. Sophia Taylor had the same ending as in the plot. She married Ethan. Time rewound to 3 days before the wedding. Sophia Taylor went home as usual. Only she didn't see me. There was only a letter on the table. Sofa, I'm sorry. With the wedding looming, I have to confess everything to you. I could have chosen to take this secret and run, but you've done so much for me, and if I don't genuinely care for you, then I'm truly not human. I'm from another world, and there's something called a system inside me. The world we live in is a novel. You're the female lead of the plot, and I'm the vicious supporting male who ruins everything for you. I must obey his arrangements and complete his tasks. Otherwise, I'll face increased punishment, even death. Forgive my cowardice and timidity. I don't want to give up the life I barely gained so easily. This time the task he gave me is to fake a marriage, and on the night before the wedding abscond with all your assets and run away. I yield over and over, yet time and again I can't help but be moved by you. The system says you have your own thoughts now. I'm happy. If I make everything clear to you, can we be together? Unfortunately, a supporting character can only be a supporting character. After the task is completed, I will move on to the next timeline, and the me from this world will no longer exist in your memory. I suddenly feel that living on has no meaning anymore. I will never see you again. I will no longer exist. So this time, I thought a way to deceive the system. I already arranged with Ethan to transfer all your property into his name. It's written in the contract that after I die, all the assets will return to you. He's only temporarily holding them. Please play a part with me. Pretend you discover this, get angry, and kill me. Only if the system detects your revenge level will it spare me. Spare us. Sophia, I love you. Sophia Taylor read the letter again, tears plopping onto the paper. Alex, you liar. This isn't acting at all. You lied to me again. After death, the system checked everything again and found it all. So furious it buzzed right through me. Alex, after all my wholehearted efforts to help you, you actually defy fate. The collapsing system directly drove out my soul. Doesn't matter anymore. Continuing to barely survive is not as good as changing once for a brilliant moment. My life was already complete the moment I met Sophia Taylor. Epilogue. After Sophia Taylor and Ethan married, they spent a blissful and happy year together. Ethan went to the Taylor group to find her, as usual, but she was nowhere to be seen for half a day. He casually grabbed Sophia Taylor's assistant. Where is your chairwoman? The chairwoman hasn't come in all day. Ethan was puzzled, thinking Sophia Taylor might have gone off to handle something. But after that day, he never saw Sophia Taylor again. Sophia Taylor's perspective. I awakened to the ability to read minds. Rather than mind reading, it's more like I inexplicably heard the so-called system voice in my head. Host, this is the female lead in the script. I could hear it from the very first day I met Alex. At first I thought I'd just been too tired lately. Later I tested it and discovered that a system really did exist. For example, one moment Alex would be cheerful, and the next moment he would suddenly be full of worry. For example, he would inexplicably start spacing out. Every time he got stuck, I could hear the system's voice. Thanks to mind reading, I was already prepared the first time Alex tried to harm me. I don't blame him. I know he had no choice. Until he secretly advanced me $2 million for medical bills. He even left the ancestral home. The system clearly required everything to be sold. I don't know what means or methods he used to trick the system. Or perhaps he endured physical suffering for me. At that moment, I was moved. Maybe it was the needs of the plot. After Alex paid the medical bill, Ethan showed up. I found I couldn't help but talk to him to ingratiate myself. This was not in line with my original intention. I tried to resist, but it was no use. Ethan and I kept growing closer. I thought this was how my story would end, until I saw Alex again. What a shitty system. What a plot. I'll follow my own will. I secretly bought the Polaroid wedding photos. I pretended to cooperate with the black card. Until Alex told me the way to trick the system, I thought I had time to fight back. Do I hate him? No. Not satisfied, are you? Indeed I am. I even vented my anger through acting. What a load of nonsense plot. Why do they have to fixate on tormenting me? I refuse. Until Alex died. Only then did I realize I truly loved him. I thought I was using him to defy the plot. What I didn't know was that I had long since become a pawn in the scheme. A year after Alex's death, the system found me. I know you're no longer under the story's control. Do you want to see him? Almost without hesitation. I want to. Then do the task with me.